So just testing. Good evening. Hi guys, good evening. How are you guys doing? Please, could you try to notify the others so we can start? All right. So I noticed there are some people there, and I think I'm not going to wait. We'll just start here and see where we can end for the day. So I don't know if there are some questions. Let me first of all try to check that if there are actually some questions. Uh, okay, so it turns out there is no additional question. So um, yesterday I showed you guys something, and I said we were going to be working on that today and the next sessions. Just to let you guys grab some of the concepts of procedural programming and some part of object-oriented programming before moving to Laravel framework. Okay, so also about yesterday, we tried touching the aspect of SQLite, connecting to SQLite, performing queries just like MySQL. Um, it was not too long. I think it was about 30 minutes. So if you were not around yesterday, you can do well to watch that. But basically, I'm going to share my screen at the moment. Okay, so this is what we are going to be working on. All right, we'll just have this blog section of a particular website. We're going to implement the backend. So if I go to blog, which is the same page, I have these blogs, and when I click on this, I'm expecting to see the actual blog. All right, so I guess I'm on the wrong one. Okay, so this should be the right one. So reloading this, I have these blocks. There are some that are dynamic, there are some that are static. All right. So this one where you see view more and so on, they are coming from a database. So when we click on it, we're actually able to view the particular block, a single block, right? Yeah, so that's what we are going to try to work on. Okay. And you can also add this block. I think I went through this yesterday. Um, Again, and I have this login and register form. However designed it is, don't overmind that. So I think this is a username and password. And then I click on login. I actually get login, and you have this dashboard here that has a total number of blocks. It also has go to website and so on. All of that we are going to see how to implement that. All right. So basically, from the back end, we'll be able to add block. Okay. So let me just randomly generate some stuff here. Add an image. Um, okay. So let's see this and click on add, and we have the number of blocks increase here 3. Now when we click on this, we are expecting to see the total number of blocks, but there was something I did yesterday that break the stuff. Okay. So this is what we are going to be able to do. All right. um, and that is what I am going to start with today. So I don't know, can I continue, or there is something I need to answer before we continue? Guys, if you are there, just do well to respond. It's like actually talking to myself now, but I actually see people um on the session. Please just reply. Let me know that you guys are there. Okay, so yeah, I think we should go, right? So we'll start from the normal index page. I just had to copy stuff and paste here because we don't want to code front end from scratch, right? Because yeah, basically the front end is something that I think you must have done that a lot with the front end mentor. So this is the landing page. There is no PHP in here. Like it's just a normal page, a header. Let me show you that. A normal page with some sort of I have the navigation here with the home and login and the menu. I also have the hero section, which you have here, hearts of the community, just to show you what I'm talking about. So if I come back to this is the home page, and yeah, this is the landing page actually. So you see this navigation, and you see this guy that is actually in the background. This is just a map that has been integrated for that particular location. So you have this navigation, you have the home and the blog, then you have this one at the top where you can have contact info. You have these sections here that are talking about the company, what they are involved in. Then you have how we work. Oh, these are just basic things, okay? And about this contact, we are not going to implement this, but if I see the need increase it, or sorry, if I see the need for us to implement it, then we'll come to that, okay? Okay, so back to our page. I'm going to increase my screen just like somebody said. Back to this page. This is just normal HTML, like I said, okay? So so I could literally push you guys this like let me see if I can initialize this right now. Git init. uh, Let me push it so that if you want to work on it, we can be working on it together. Git commit -m to me. How do they spell that? Okay, small block. Okay, so I have that. Oh, sorry, git add star, git commit small block. And okay, I have that. So I'll basically just have to go to GitHub right now. And to go to GitHub, I want to open the other account. Should I do that? Mm, no, let me just deal with this account. It's okay. So I'll go to github.com and create a new repository. So I will come to this and I'll create a repository. I want to push the skeleton of what we have so that you can pull it uh, from your end and we work together. So little the PHP block, yeah, PHP block Zuri kind of, and then I'll send it to Anjou and I'll make it public so that you guys can access. And okay, I have that right now. So I have this created and I'll just link it up to what I have. So this is what I'm going to do. Just be all of this. Come to terminal. Let me clear the terminal right now. Let me just paste this. Right. I have that pasted and these two commands. I think we should be good to go after this. All right. This is so that you guys can actually access it. Nothing to worry about. So few minutes while it's compressing to push. So immediately I push this, you should be able to access this on GitHub, okay? And you can actually pull from there and do whatever work you want to do. All right, so I have that it has been pushed, and if I come back here and refresh, I am expecting to have the project here, okay? So just to add some little notes, readme dot md block with PHP setup it clone. Let me see. I don't need this. Let's just see how we can set it up. So I'll have the first install PHP. Install. I don't need you to install Composer. Okay. By the way, you must have had Git already. All of this. Install XAMPP if you don't have. And the next one should be run. Just clone it. Clone the repository. This repository using uh, git clone. Oh, sorry. Let's copy the repository name and copy and paste here. Then the next thing is cd into it. Then what's next? Create database called block or whatever. And I don't have doc.sql, but in case there is any, I'll just no, now. Okay. And what else? I think we're good. Exam and access project, something like that. Yeah. Just do something like this. And features, any feature, um, register, login, about, create post, view post, edit post, edit post. I think this is okay right now. So this is just the simple setup. Yeah, so I have that right now. Let me just push it at readme.md, git commit, um, documentation, and let me just push. All right, so I will push this right now, at least from there. Now we have a documented project, right? Not too documented, but at least you know what to do from there. Okay, so now that we have this, okay, let's now come to our project itself. This is the index page, which is just basic HTML. Clone this and see how it works, okay? So what happens is this page actually has some JavaScript, and it even has the map.js that loads the map from a particular location, right? So the location is Cameroon and a particular locality there. So this, you can access it, and this is the home page, of course. Now that we have this home page set up, what we want to do now, let's start working on the back end. The first thing we need in the back end, let's just, we're not going to be doing and testing right now, because if we want to do that, we may just get lost. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is, I have created a folder called backend, and inside that backend there's index.php, which is just the login. Okay, this one here, uh, again, and I have this funny login screen here, which I can click and switch. Okay, so there is the login form, right, and the register form. This is done with some basic, very basic JavaScript, like very basic. If you notice at the bottom, this is the script. Okay, so that when I click on register, I change the style for the login to none, so that it doesn't display appears. I click on register, login disappears, and that's basically what is to where is that? So you have the login, right? It has the link or login form, right? With this ID. This ID is very necessary. And then when I click on it, it calls this hide login function. And what does the function do? Hide login function sets the register form ID so that it doesn't display, and then displays the login form. That's basically it, okay? So that is what is happening, and that is JavaScript actually. Now, what we want to do is, let's try to see if we can implement anything here for today, like this login and register. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a connection file, connection.php. Okay, connection.php. Let me see how I can enlarge this again. Um, and what we are going to do in this connection.php, we're just going to define some simple, let me just comment it, uh, back end this. Let me disable this auto generation at the moment, because we want to go together. So I will set the host, right? And my host is called localhost. I think all of you know what localhost is. you have localhost, or you type the IP of your localhost, which is something I think 127 dot which one is that? I've even forgotten. 168 dot 0.1. Forgotten. Yeah, but you type the IP address for your local host. Now define the host. The next thing you want to define is a user, right? The username. So I could actually call it username, right? And the next thing I want to declare the password. And by default, my password is null. Okay. The next thing, the database. And this is where you have to do some work. So you have to go to your XAMPP, all right, localhost /php and create a database that you are going to link to. Okay. So let me see how, let me show you that. So I've already created this database here, user this. So I could just literally create another one. So we go together. So block PHP block post. Okay. And we have that. This PHP blog post is not the best naming convention. I might just have to rename that. I'll call it PHP underscore blog underscore posts. Okay. A few minutes, guys. Let me come. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. So we have created this database right now, and we need to connect to this database. So I'll just copy the name and back to this. I should just do this, okay? So this will connect to that database. Now, at the moment, we don't have any data there, but no problem still. Let's keep on working. I think we'll get to that. So what we want to do, we'll just create a function that will connect to that database, okay? So right now, I'm not going to pass parameters into the functions, okay? So I'm just going to create function connect, and what this connect does is that, okay, like I was saying before, um we have to access this host, this username, this password, and this database inside this function. So what we need to do, we have to make it global. Okay, so to access these properties, or sorry, these variables that are out of this function, we need a global keyword. So I use global, then I pass in the host, the username, uh, get rid of this at the moment. Now that I have that, what's up with this thing? It's refusing to be deactivated. Now that I have this, right, I can now access this username, password, and database. Okay, that was just so that we can access it. Now let's create our connection. Let's call it connect. One is equal to, now since we are using OOP, I'm going to use new MySQLi, all right, like that. Now, if you were using procedural, you use con is equal to MySQLi underscore connect. And they are basically going to do the same thing. But in this case, since we want to work with object-oriented programming, let's just ignore this. Okay, new MySQLi, and what does it do? It has to take in the hosts, it has to take in the username, it has to take in the password, and it has to take in the database. Okay, so that is basically it. This is how it's going to connect. Now we set this, and let's try to check if there were some errors. So if there was some error, we can call the connect error here. Uh, Error. So if there was an error, right, then let's just kill the whole running instance with the error. So you can use a die keyword. What does this keyword do? What does this function do? It's equivalent to exit. All right. So but this one exits with a message. So we could literally just do that. And what do we want to pass in? The string say connection failed. Okay. Now let's be explicit to what the error is. Okay, so I'm going to show the error. Con.connect error. Okay, so this one. So if there was an error, then we do this. If there was no error, then we should return the connection. And that's basically it. So we have defined the connect. Okay, we've defined the connection to the database. Now let's try to access this a bit. So I'm going to go a little bit further than us. I'm going to go to index.php, and at the top I'm going to just try to import that. Okay, oh sorry, this is now at the level of testing, so we have not started using it, but I just want to check something. PHP, let me close this here, and I'm going to include once importing this file. Now this one is called backend, uh, backend / connection, right? Now we have this file here. Let's try to call the connection. Okay, so connection is equal to connect, and that is a function. And what do we have here? Okay, a semicolon missing. Let's see what happens here. So can we use var to see? Just use echo and see. I've even forgotten. And okay, let's echo the connection. Now let's come back to our page and see whether we are up to something. Okay, guys, hope I'm not talking to myself. Are you guys getting? Okay, so I was saying let's come here and Okay, please can you hear me now? So sorry, the network kicked me out. Let me go back to sharing my screen. And all right, great. So I was here and I was saying, okay, we have been able to successfully create our connection. And so far, do you have a question like when it comes to creating at this level? Okay, you say you have a question. Isn't connect function? Isn't calling connect function every time creates a new MySQL object? Okay, so we are going not to call this several times, okay? So you could as well close the connection, all right? So let's say function, let's say close connection. See, 2 minutes, please. All right, so in this case, after calling it and using it, you can always close it, okay? So what was I? So you can literally just close it at the end. That won't be a problem. Okay. So yeah, I think or do you suggest a better way to do this? And there are really better ways to do it. So I have this right now, and basically we have our connection still. And okay, we have successfully connected to the database right now. If I try, let me see something here. But let me see something. Uh, okay, is it the same thing? Yeah, literally we have a null. Let me see. Yeah, we should be having a null at the end because there is no connection string. So it's always nice to close the connection after using it. Okay. I think we should go ahead from here, right? So we have this now and we can always connect to it. You'll have done this using a class and calling a class constructor and so on, but I did not want to go that way, okay? So we have this right now. The next thing is for us to define something. Let's start working on this part, login and register. You said each time you write something on your terminal, what do you write on your terminal, Sugar? So I'm going to create a class here called auth, user auth, yeah, or user, whatever, user auth.php, and this is going to have the user class, right? PHP, and I'm going to have class called uh, user auth, and we're going to have some properties. Right now, we want a user to have a name, an email, a password, what again? Let's see. Yeah, name, email, and password. We don't need too many things from the user, okay? So we are going to define our user class. I could as well call this account class. Let me just let me rename it to something account class, and I'll call this I could call this user or user auth or whatever. So let me just call it user. And now let's define the properties. Like I said, we have the username. Now we are all going to set this to private, okay? Because we don't want it to be accessed anyhow. So we have private username, we have private password, we have private email. I think those are the things that we want to define. And also in this user class, let us also define the connection, like private connection. And I'm going to define a constructor, a no argument constructor that is going to connect to the database, so that when we call the user class, that user class should come with some sort of a constructor. So I could say function underscore construct, and I'm not going to pass in anything there. What I want to do is I just want to say this con is equal to connect, right? This just create a new connection so that we can use it, and we can close the connection at the end. And you can also define a destructor, uh, destruct, and this one will close the connection for us. So this one should be at the bottom. Now that we have this user class with a constructor, let us start defining some of the things that the user can do. So the first one will be login, and that login is supposed to take the username and the password, right? So you could just pass in the username and the password. I think that's what the login should take. Username and password. This username could either be email or, yeah, in this case, we are just using the username as the email. So what we want to do with this login is that, okay, now this is SQL. I don't like this guy here. I don't know why it's not going. Okay, so I have this login and we want to just do normal login, nothing too complicated. So we can define that the SQL script will be that we select everything from users where username, right? So have a name, or we could say email, okay? But in this case, where username, I'll just, so where username is equal to the username and password is equal to the password passed. Now, in this case also, there are some things that we've defined here, and well, it's okay to, we'll set the accessors and mutators as well because they are very necessary. So I'm just going to set accessors and mutators. This is because we are working with OOP. All right. So let me see. We have username, password, and email. So I could say public function um, set username, and what I want to set is the username. All right, so username, and what I want to do is I will say this username is equal to the given username. So this username is equal to username. All right, and that is just a setup. So I can basically use this at the end to set a default username and password and do test without having to pass from the front end. I also have the getter public function get, I don't know, and get username. So about the naming convention, you can use underscore. Okay, so I return uh, this dot user name. All right, and that is basically how you are going to do same for all the other ones. Okay, you'll see how handy this will become when we start using it. Public function, um, set password, um, and we are going to say this, the password is equal to password, all right? And public function is passwords. Let's see, return this password. We are going to do same for the email, okay? So, oh, we have username, we have email, and we have password. Um, this is just like a duplicate right now, but it's okay. I could say this is name. So change all occurrences to name, set password, and then for username, a few minutes, copy this and paste it here. Change this username to set email, right? And this will be email, and this one will be get email, right? Yeah, so I think it's better like that. Get email, return email. Yeah, so we have this, okay? We have all of this. Sometimes it's always nice to put the constructor at the top, just convention though. So put this constructor at the top. So we have the constructor, we have the accessors and mutator. So which one is the accessor? The accessor is the get, the mutators is the set. Use mutators to change the values of given variables or properties, okay? Uh, I hope you guys are getting me. Let's see. Yes, Aziz as well. Okay, yeah. So I could literally put account, okay? Or I could change this to user. This would be better, right? Yeah. Some editors are even very wise that just with the name of the file name, if it's object oriented, it creates the class for you with that file name, and it's really very important. It's necessary. Yeah, Aziz, is okay. Like it's okay to do that. Like it's very okay. Okay. Now the thing is, I want to go at the very basic level so that everybody is going to flow. Now, if I try uh, using things like data access objects right now, yeah, some people might really be lost. So I'll just go with what is here right now. Okay. So with the login, we're here, right? So I have a function login. I'm going to take the email. I'm going to use email rather. Email and password. Okay, that's what the login is going to check. But I want us to do something. Let's go back to XAMPP. Um, localhost forward slash PHP. I mean, I want us to create those tables. Though you could create it with PHP, but it's okay. Let's create it with normal script. Okay. Uh, going to reduce this. Okay. So reducing this, let me access the database PHP blog post, and I want to create uh, the user and the post table. But for now, let's just deal with the user first. So create table. I'll call the tables users, right? And what am I passing in? Create table users. I want the ID, int, not null, primary key, auto increment, right? I also have the username. Do we have username? Email, and that's going to be virtual. I'm going to set it to 60, and yeah, that should not be null as well. Not null. I also have the name, right? So let me also add the name, virtual as well. Set the name to 62 or 120. 120, not null as well. And I think the passwords, virtual, set it to 120, so that in the future, if we have to hash the password, it won't be a problem. Not null. None of these fields should be null, right? So we have that. So this is the script to create a users table, and I think this is all right. So I should hit this. Oh, what did I miss? Um, line 2. Do we have primary key? Sorry. Okay, so I hit this and we have the users table created, and this user table has these columns. Okay, so now that we have that, um, we can go ahead now and see how to do stuff. Okay, so let us execute this query. I'm not going to go too deep into things right now. Like I just want us to do things at a very basic level, like very basic level. You guys can build from there. So I could set the result, and that will be the query. Okay, that will be the query. So if you notice, I'm using this.con.query, probably because I have this connection that is set at the level of the constructor, and this is it here. So the user class can always access this. So I have the result, and what else do I need? Um, so for login, what should we do? Should we return the user? Yeah, I think it would be nice if we return the user that is logged in. User is equal to, let me set it to normal array at the moment. Sorry, array at the moment. And what I want to do is, if there was some sort of a result, right? Results. There was some sort of result and the number of rows in that result was greater than 0. Norm rows is greater than 0. I think I could just push this and explain. Okay, so if the number of rows was greater than 0, then we should pass. I don't even need this while loop right now because we are expecting just one user. Okay, so I could literally not use this, so that we have that the user is equal to this. All right, so we fetch the result as an associative array, and we assign it here, and we return the user. Okay, but in this case as well, we could want to return say the username or whatever. We'll define that at the end, but it's okay. So we can get this, we can return the user at the moment. Let's see. um, so let me see, there's some logic we could play here because I want to return I want to return the user, right? But in this case, I also want to return a boolean because this login should return a boolean for us. So in this case, I could just return true, like mm, return true, and then I don't need this user. We'll get back to this. So this login returns true or false, like if there was login, then true or false. Okay. Now we have this login, and let's see. Um, so there is this login now. Let me see if it works. Uh, let's see. What should we do right now? Okay, so there's this user class, and I want to define some sort of a route here. If somebody knows a way better, you can actually help me do that. So I want to define a route user action.php, which will basically just take care of some things for me right now. Okay. Um, this one is just going to determine some things, and for me to actually do this, I need all the classes in here. There is a way you can try to create an auto load that will automatically load classes for you, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to start the section at the top because I might need it, and I'll include the connects. I'll also include the user, right? And I think those are the two classes I need. Next thing I do is, okay, stuff is already happening for me. So this index, if you notice the forms, let me see where the forms, the login page, um, the register form, the name of the submit button is register submit, and the login form also has the login submit, and that is what I want to check. Okay, so this is register now, forgot password. Okay, this is login, I think. So this button, that's what I'm looking for. Input. Okay, so I have this name login submit. That's what I want to check at the level of this. Okay, so I could say if it's set, uh, since it's also a post, login submit. I don't know. Okay, so let me just login submit, right? Uh, what I should do is that I could check the email, right? So the email, I extract the email from the form. Email is equal to posts at I think username. Let me go back to the form and see what is there. So for the login, I have username and password. That's what I'm going to use. So this password is equal to post password. I think just get it. So I have this user, and then I could create a new instance now of the user class. Okay, so user is equal to new user. User is equal to new user, and I can use the setter now and the getter to actually set the username and password. Now let me show you this. This is the mutator for the users. Okay, these properties that we set here, name, email, and password. So I use that here within the users. Within the user action, I set the email, but as well, you could literally just not even set it. Okay, you could just pass in this username and this. So I could use this, not even use this at the moment, and it will work. Okay, So I get the username, I get the password, then I create a new instance of the user class, and I used this is the login function that we declared within the user. In fact, I don't like the fact that this thing is auto completing right now. Let me see. So let's do it together. So we have now that we've created the user instance or the user object, we could now log in using login is equal to user, and immediately I should be able to access the login function, right, or login method. And this login method is coming from this user class. Notice when we define the user class, we had the login method. That's the first method we have had. Okay, so we have this. Now we have the login, and we need to pass in the email and the password. Okay, uh, so we could now do some checks like if there was login, because this is going to return a boolean like we did here. The login returns true or false. So we do the check here, like if login, then we could set a session for that user. Okay, so we could say username. um, or basically we could just not even say session and giving username is equal to the username which we have here, and then we return redirect. Where should we even go to? Anyway, header. Um, let's see this location. I'll call it dashboard.php, but there is nothing yet there. Dashboard.php with some message. Yeah, I don't even need the message at the moment. I could even set the message here in the session as well. Session at message or to you are logged in. And okay, this is it. So if there was a login, else I could set session at message as password or user, sorry, session at username or session at error, only one error, passwords or username error. Now, for now, let's go with this. We'll come and do validations later because it will be necessary. And let's also redirect to location index.php. Yeah, this should be it. I'm just going to create a simple dashboard.php here right now with nothing there. Okay, so let me just create dashboard.php and php if we start a session starts if is set session at username, then we should echo it. Oh, let's see if this one works. Hi. Okay. So also come back to this page, index.php, and inside one of these, let me see, I could put it inside this form. For example, what do I want to put there? Some PHP script, PHP, and I'll be like, okay, what do I need to put? If it's set section at username or section at error, what do I want to do? Let me just start doing some stuff here right now. Close this and div dot with the div here and span dot alert yeah, whatever. And I'm going to PHP echo session at username or whatever. Sorry, error. And I have this right now, so let me try to close this PHP here, and hopefully this should work. I don't know how authentic this should be. Let's just test it out. All right. So I'll go to my browser, and is this thing still there? Let me go and close that index of PHP. I don't need this at the moment. All of this is used. Okay, so let's go to this, go to backend, and we have this. All right, login. Okay, connection failed. Uh, access denied for user root. Oh, let's check our connection. Did I change anything here? Connect error, username database, post. But this worked before. So what is the error right now? Oh, user action. Let me go to user action and see. This is not even the error. Let me go to the user class and see again. Construct this.con is equal to connect. Okay. Let me see if this is the error. Include once connection. I don't think this is the error, but let me just see. .php. And refresh this. The page not working. What is the error right now? Let me just see. So connect. I don't know how this is posting an error, but I'm also going to comment this at the moment and see. Root at localhost using password. Okay, good ones. Let me just say this. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what the problem is here. Let me see. Login. Cannot connect. Username. Database. Did I change my credentials? Um, this is root. Hosts. Hmm. Let me try to access that in the index page and see. We surely have some importation errors. Let me just see this. Do this. Go back here and see. It actually does connect. Okay, guys. Let me come back to this. Aziz, what do you think? Have you seen any points where we need to fix right now? Back end, connect users. Private com. Okay, so construct connect. Okay, let me check. Let me check this out. This shouldn't be a problem. Let me see this at the moment. If it is the error. Um, Access denied. Using password, yes. But am I really using password here? Mm, Let me restart Zamp and see where the error is coming from. Mm, What is the problem here? Okay, let me check. Let me check this. I think. try to comment this and in this and see what the problem is right now. Like, see. Oh, really? So I was considering that I was passing a password here. No, this cannot be real. Like, oh, the database does not have a password. Like, it doesn't have. Let me see this password. Come back to this. Login. Okay. So whatever is happening right now, I'm just going to get rid of that. But I think some of you might not have this issue. Let me just hard code this at the moment. Let's see. Uh, and this, actually see that it works. Like in this case, it does work. But let me try to see how we can now. Um, user action says error session at error password from username error. So did I start the session here? Yes. Come back to index. If it set session error, um, oh, it could literally be. Ah, okay. Let's just see. Let me check that right now. Hard coding this is not an option. We're not supposed to do this. It's not quite nice. So let me try to use another variable name, call a user pass or to something like this, and user pass. Just see if this is the error. User pass. And try to do this. Oh yeah, it was trying to read a certain password that we define here. This password. I think this is where the one of the error was coming from, trying to read this password as our password for the connection. Yeah. So we have this index page and password error. Let me check something. Was that? Is that what? Action. Next PHP. All right. Name dashboard. So we have been able to process this login. So let me just see if it's set session of error. Let me just check this if this is a problem. We are supposed to redirect back here with some message. See this session error, maybe where we are actually echoing it out. Where should we echo that out even? Trying to see the best place. Echo it out here. So we check if we have this session. Yeah, this is supposed to work. What is happening right now? Okay, so I'm just going to check something out here and error. Um, and see if that is where the problem is coming from. Okay, we have this error, but it's not printing it out. Basically, session start. Did I start the session here in this index.php? No, I did not. Okay, so okay, so I think this is supposed to work right now. Okay, password or username error. Let me just put it somewhere that will make sense, right? Copy this and I could put it within the login form. It here. So I just had to put this within the login form so that if there's an error, we get it. So we get password, username error. Oh, the place where it is right now doesn't really make sense. Hmm. Somebody should tell me where to place this right now. Like, okay, so I will have this form just format it. Well, I have this input, I have this, so I could define a div here, div, and put this inside. Um, okay, so let's see how this one is working right now. Uh, clear this. Let me see. I'll set the session. I'll set uh, session at error. Uh, let's see this. It's just for refresh purposes. Okay. Okay. So we have that right now. Like the login basically works, right? Now let me show you something about it again. So I have this login page, right? This was at the initial level, just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the form, right? For us to be able to log in. Now, when the user fills the username and password and submits, our action is called user action.php. Let me show you that. So I have this form, the form itself. So I have form ID and the action is called user action.php. This is the user action, all right? What happens is in this user action, I've imported all the classes that are necessary, the connection class and the user class. And what it does is, okay, we have checked the first case if the button submitted was login submit, which is coming from this form, right? Like inside this form, you have uh, login submit. This is the name of the button, login submit. When a user clicks on it, it goes to this with the data that is coming from that form. So it's going to unpack that data, right? Then create a new instance of the user class. Then try to log in. If the login was successful, then it's going to do that. If not, it's going to redirect back. Let me remove this error right now. We don't need it. It's going to redirect back and we can get the message. Now, why is it not working? Like when we click on it, why do we get password or username error? It is because we don't have this username and password in the database. So, what do you guys think? Let's just create it randomly. Like set into table users uh, values. Set it to name uh, young somebody. I'll also pass the password as password. Okay, now let's see. Hopefully this works on this query. Set into users, passing the uh, username. What are the fields? The name, the email, and the password. Values this. Let's see. This one syntax name. What is the error here right now? Okay, this is not supposed to be a string. Backticks. I think this should go now. Just want some data into this, so we should have that data already. So we have leon at gmail.com and password. So I'm just going to copy this and come back to our login form, paste it. And the password is going to be password. Let's see if it works. Oh, we are having this issue right now. The passwords don't match. Okay. Or username error. It means our login is having issues. Okay, so let's come back to the login. Not try to create spaces here. Sometimes these spaces can be the problem. So select star from users, where this and so on. Try to log in again. Okay, so what is the problem? Let me just copy this. Copy, email, and this. All right. So we need to check this again. When name, sorry, where email is equal to this, not name. Oh. Okay, so let's go through it again. So our users table, we have email and we have password. So we are selecting from the users where email is equal to email and password is equal to password. And if the number of rows are this, then we have this. So let's be sure that this works. Like um, I hope I'm on track right now. Email and password. Refresh this guy. Come here, use this same user and paste it here. And the password should be password. You can submit and we have password or username error. Okay, so now let's try to debug this right now. On our this, we have the user action says if there was login, then we should redirect to the dashboard. And if there was no login, let me just try to debug at this level, echo login, and let's see. Okay, what is this? Should return a boolean. How do we print a boolean? User.login, username and password. Let's see. Select star from users where email is equal to email and password is equal to password. Okay. Um, what's happening today? Right. Okay, so we have this login, email, and password. Post email. Let me see what is passed here. Echo email. So what we get. So we have this, and we pass this password. So we have leon@gmail.com, and that is the password. So let's see, leon@gmail.com, copy this, okay, and the password. Okay, so we actually have the username and password as it is. Let's try to debug this one right now. Like, what is the issue? Unlock this and boom login. Well, let me just pass this guy in here and see something. I hate having to do this. So if there was some sort of login, then we should do this. Let's see. Password and username L. Writing out something. Email and password. Login. Query. Okay. Debug at the level of this. Rent this right now and try to log in like with this new user. User is equal to new user and user login Leon at gmail.com and password. Mm, okay. So we might really need those validations. I think so. Yes, it will be handy. Let's just make sure we finish this, guys. So page not working. Let's use that class, of course. So we have failed, like failed. Means the login function is not well defined, and I'm going to try to redefine that right now. So we have that our SQL is select star from users. I hope our table name is called users. We have select star from users. Let me see. Let me try to execute this same query right here. Star from users where email is equal to um, Leon at gmail.com and password is equal to password. Let's see what that gives us. Hmm. Let's run it and see. Do we have data? Yes, we have data. Like this is the data. And this is the script here. So what is the problem? Like, let me just copy this SQL script and paste it. Let's see. And paste. Just change this to password and change this to email. Right. Let's see this. I don't know how fresh this. And we still have failed. Okay, so could it be the connection? This dot con dot query. Mhm. Why is this posing some errors right now? Who has figured out something here? So we have this. Let me also call this function here as well. Uh, user equal to new user. And user login and now passing the program. So this shouldn't be a problem right now. Let me see this. Okay, user class trying this. No, it exists already, so this shouldn't be a problem. So let me figure out what the problem is right now, because results MySQL con query. Okay, so let me just try to do what I was doing. I'm trying to debug this, guys. I don't know. Let's see this. I'm going to run this on terminal. Oof. Mm, okay, PHP user.php. See, okay, we won't even run on terminal. User.php. We're still having failed. Let me see. Okay, let's try to do that again, like you said. Okay, so we want to yeah, so we want to set up the login, right? And our login function is using the connection, and we've set the connection to be this connection in the constructor, right? Now, within the login function, we have our SQL that is selecting star from users, where the email, I hope we spelled the email correctly. Yes, we did spell it correctly. Where the email, uh, let me see, where the email is equal to this email. Let's see, and the password as well is equal to this password. Now, then we try to execute our query using this connection here, right? Using this connection here, and yeah, that is the SQL. Then we check the result from this query. Let me see something. Um, yeah, it's okay to check the result here and try to return true or false based on what we have here. So I don't know if um, let me just say something. Let me go procedural here. Uh, query, query. Let me even use the help of Copilot here. So query is equal to MySQL underscore query. passing this on and the SQL. Uh, how do we even check this again? Oh, index section. Let's see this is storage set. Um, I'm trying to figure out what the problem is, or maybe I'm too blind to see right now. Even so, okay. So, Aziz, did you get it? Is that connect password? Okay, let me use private back. Refresh this. Okay. So is it my system right now that is misbehaving, or okay? Let me just give me a few minutes. Matt. So it's almost 2 hours now, but we have to finish this one before even ending today. Mm, so I'll just try to copy what I have right now, and let me try to paste it here for the login and try to evaluate. Even though in that case I did not return a boolean. Okay, so I'm going to comment this at the moment, and we are not even getting this. So resolve this. This is still the same thing. Okay, so let me just return through here. True, else return and false. Okay, so let's see what the problem is. If this does not work, then we are still having the same issue. What's going on here? I'm not going to use email here. Password. We're still having something same and similar. Okay, so this is how someone gets stuck, and okay, let's just say this. Hmm. Let me pilot this and see. Literally almost the same, like very much the same. Um, let me see. User equal user and this and oh, this is the error again. Getting right now. Wow. Like, is this for real? Trying to get this. Trying to get this. I think I'll have to take time to figure this out, and then we can continue from there. About this week, I'll see how to put some sessions within the week. We cannot wait till today to have another. Okay, we have another one on Wednesday. So I'm going to figure that out, and let me just instantiate this right now and yeah, push it in. And so I'll push this one right now. So if there is a fix, yeah, you can always get a fix and create a PR. That would be great, right? Let me come back to the local host and see what this guy is trying to tell me right now. I don't even get the problem, but name, email, password. Well, let me even try to log into this other database and see um, users. I have phone@gmail.com. And let me try to connect to this other database and see if we have any success. So change this and basically the same thing, I guess. So refresh this and we are still having fail. Uh, then it must be our login. Let me just use the right email and password right here. Go back to